Hey everyone, it's Michael from notefolds.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a standing desk for about $25. There's only a few items that you need to get. You'll need to get two of these stackable closet organizers. These are made by ClosetMate, and I bought the 31-inch wide. You can also go with the 24-inch wide if you don't need such a large desk. You'll also need two 12-inch rails for a drawer. This is going to be what makes our keyboard tray. As far as tools go, you'll need just a screwdriver and some kind of a saw. You could use a jigsaw, circular saw if you have a bandsaw, whatever it may be, because we will need to be doing some modification to these. So let's go ahead and start putting it together. Inside each of the ClosetMate boxes there are 4 wood pieces. We have our sides, 2 of those, and then the shelves, 2 of those, and we also have some hardware. We're going to need to make some modifications to one of the shelves in order to make it into a keyboard tray. Okay, so I have one of my shelves here, and I'm just going to go ahead and measure that. And it's just under 30 inches wide. So we need to cut some of this off in order to make it into a keyboard tray. So here are our rails for the keyboard tray. And this lower lip is actually what the keyboard tray is going to rest in, while these 2 rails attach to the sides, one to the inside of the leg and then the other side to the keyboard tray. So we need to measure how wide these pieces are, because those are actually going to take up some of the room inside of the shelves. So I'm just going to put these together, and I'm going to only measure the part that is sticking up. You can see I've got the flat spaces here. I'm not going to measure that. So just measure the width there. And it's about 1 inch wide, as you can see. So what that tells me is I have a 30-inch wide piece. I need to cut this down by 1 inch to 29 inches in order to make it fit. So I'm going to go do that now. Okay, I'm back with my shelf. It's now been cut on this edge. So I'm just going to measure it again, and remember it was about 30 inches before. Now you can see that we are at just under 29 inches. So it's perfect size, and we'll be able to attach the rails on now in order to make the keyboard tray. Now what I've done is I've flipped over my cut shelf, because this is going to be what the keyboard tray is. And so I'm going to put this finished edge toward the back. As you can see on the other side we have an unfinished edge, and we don't want that to show. This will be the front part of the keyboard tray while the keyboard rests there. So I'm just going to flip this completely over, so now I have my raw edge facing me. I'm going to take one of the keyboard rails. So you'll know which one the tray is going to sit on because it has this flat part, and that's where the keyboard is actually, or the shelf is actually going to rest on, where the other part of the rail kind of has a groove on the inside. That's where this piece actually rides inside. So we're going to put that to the side right now, and we're just going to attach this. So the easiest way to attach it is just remember that the wheel of the rail needs to be towards the back, the raw edge, so facing you, and then you're just going to align it with the front and take a couple of the screws that came with it and put them through. Any of the holes will really work, doesn't matter which one, but try to space them evenly out. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that. Okay, so I have one of my rails attached. You can see I have the wheel toward the back where the raw edge is going to be, and then there's the front nice finished edge. So now all I need to do is just flip it around and put the other rail on the other side. And this time, since I've flipped it around, you can see that I've got this finished edge toward me. Remember to put that wheel of the rail toward the back. And I'm just going to go ahead and attach that now. Okay, the keyboard rails are attached on both sides now. So I'm just going to flip this over, and you'll see on one end we've got a rail, and we've got another rail on the other end, and the keyboard is just going to sit nicely right on top of this. So we're going to put this to the side for now and start putting together the actual desk part of it. So remaining from your first kit, you should still have the 2 sides and one of the shelves. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach this shelf to the middle set of holes right here. So there's 2 sets of pre-drilled holes on these kits. one for the top shelf and one for the middle shelf, this being the foot. You can tell it because it has the raw edge where the top has this nice finished edge. So all we need to do is attach this shelf to the middle set of holes on both sides, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now that we have the middle shelf attached to the two sides, you can see our desk starting to come together, and this is going to be the base of the desk. The next thing we need to do is attach the other pieces of the keyboard rails to the inside here, and that's what the keyboard tray is going to ride on. So take one of the rails, and with the wheel facing you, you're going to attach it to the side here. And the easiest way to make sure that these are level is just make sure that the top edge is even with the top edge of the rail. And you can attach those with the included hardware. So there's the left side, and then here's the right. And we're going to make sure it doesn't extend past the front of it because we want that tray to be able to slide back completely when we're not using it. So I'm going to go ahead and attach those, and we'll come right back. Now that we have our inside rails attached, we can put on our keyboard tray. So with the raw edge toward the back and the wheels toward the back, just go ahead and set that right inside the inner rails. And there we go. As you can see, it's just going to slide out nice. Now, it is a little bit wobbly right now, but that's because we haven't built the second layer. So let's go ahead and do that now. So here's our second kit, and inside that we of course had the two shelves and then the two sides and the hardware. And we don't actually need to do any modification to this, so we can just use our screwdriver to put the whole thing together as prescribed in the box. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So now I have the second kit put together, and this is just as it came out of the box, no modifications necessary to it. And what's going to happen is this is going to be the top part of the desk. This is what the monitors will sit on. This shelf is in here more for stability. I guess you could take it out, but I think it's better to have it so that it's not wobbling so much if you don't have it in there. Plus you can put other stuff in here, you know, pencils or whatever you might need. So now we need to stack the desks together. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my lower part, which has the keyboard tray, and bring it over. So here's the lower part of the desk that we already built earlier with our keyboard tray, lower shelf. This is what's actually going to sit on your normal desk to bring it up. Included with these kits are two wooden dowels, and what those are going to be used for is to bunk the desks together, kind of stack them on top. And there are pre-drilled holes in the tops of these shelves here. So I'm going to put one of those dowels into each one. And then I'm going to take the second shelf, the one that we didn't modify, and it's just going to stack right on top. And there we have it. Our desk is put together. You can see it actually is quite high, but when I actually show it to you on the desk, you'll see how it works. So again, monitor is going to go up here, and then our keyboard will go on this nice tray here. Here's the finished standing desk sitting on top of our regular desk. And where we would normally be sitting here, now we can be standing and still have access to all the things that we need. So you can see I've put the monitor on the top shelf here, and if I turn toward it, you can see it's perfectly at eye level. And then we have our keyboard tray that we made. Just pull that out, and I've got my keyboard, my mouse, and it's completely sturdy enough for me to work on it like I normally would. And you can see everything is at a comfortable height for me. Now I should say I'm about 5'11", and this finished project ended up being almost 24 inches tall. So if you're a little bit shorter or maybe a little bit taller, you may need to modify these steps to make them work for you. Well, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, and I'd love to see what you put together and maybe ways to improve upon the standing desk. So until next time, happy standing.